If you're serious about getting results and transforming your physique, you need to make nutrition a focal point of your plan. We're going to take a deep dive into nutrition and how that plays a role in transforming your physique. Now, if we want to understand nutrition, we need to understand energy balance. And energy balance refers to the relationship between calories going in the system and going out of the system. Now, when it comes to energy balance, we can influence the amount of energy going in the system and out of the system. So if we wanted to lose weight, for example, we would want to burn more energy through the system than we're intaking through calories. If we wanted to maintain the system for whatever reason, we would want to make sure that the intake and the output are matched. If we wanted to increase body weight, we would want to make sure that the intake is above the output of the system, so we have what we call a surplus. So depending on your goals will influence what energy balance scenario that we need to create. Now, of these calories, we need to have ratios of protein, carbs, and fats. Now, these macronutrients play unique individual roles within the functioning of our bodies. So we do need to have a portion of each in a capacity in order to fulfill these roles and responsibilities. But outside of that, there are specific ratios that we can stick to that get the best outcomes in transforming our physique. We find that a diet high in protein, carbohydrates, and low in fat is the best macronutrient split for people wanting to transform their physique. These particular individuals are active individuals, training most likely 4 or 5 times per week, maybe doing some steps or some cardio on top of that. So they're highly active, doing resistance training, which means that we need to have sufficient amounts of protein in the diet for recovery. And we also need to have a really easily accessible source of energy in terms of carbohydrates to facilitate performance. Now, at the end of the day, the most important variables are calories and protein. Those need to stay constant across the board in order for us to manage our total calorie intake to influence our energy balance and ensure we have enough protein to recovering adequately and making sure that we're not breaking down our muscle mass. Now, the ratios between the carbs and fats can differ on a personal basis. So if you're one of those people who wants a little bit more fat in their diet, you can have a little bit more fat. It just has to come at the cost of some carbohydrates. If you're someone who wants more carbohydrates in your diet, you can have a little bit more. It just comes at the cost of some fats in your diet. At the end of the day, the calories and the protein are the most important things, and the individualization can lie with whether people prefer a little bit more fats or whether people prefer a little bit more carbs. We're always going to sway people towards maybe consuming more carbohydrates just because of the activities that these people are typically doing. Strength, power activities, highly active individuals. Now that we know our calories and macronutrient distributions, we need to start to consider, is there an optimal timing of our meals throughout the day? Now, this is still a highly individual thing to consider, but what we want to make sure we're doing is giving ourselves the best opportunity to perform as well in the gym. So this is where our pre and post-workout nutrition still can stay constant from individual to individual. Now, before a workout, we want to make sure we're consuming some carbohydrates and some protein. We want an energy source to help facilitate energy access during the workout. We also want some protein to help facilitate muscle protein synthesis and maybe kickstart that recovery process a little bit earlier. Now, post-training, we want to make sure we have a serving of protein. We want to ensure that we're giving ourselves enough amino acids to recover from that training session and make sure that we can set ourselves up for our next workout, maybe the next day or so. Now, outside of that pre and post-workout window, when you feed is going to be heavily dependent on your schedule. Now, we still recommend that you try and feed every 3 to 4 hours, making sure that we have a 20 to 40 gram serving of protein in those feeds to ensure that we're giving our body everything it needs to manage its muscle protein balance. Now, muscle protein balance is just a fancy way of ensuring that our synthesis rate is the same or a little bit higher than the breakdown rate, just so that we're not losing muscle. We've spoken about a lot of things to do in order to optimize your nutrition. Let's talk about some things that you want to avoid. Don't just wing it. Don't not track your portions and then wonder why you're not making progress in the future. If you're serious about getting results, you will adopt a system of portion control. The next one is neglecting food quality. Taking your focus towards nutrient-dense foods ensures that we get enough vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants in our diet. It just happens to be so that these particular foods are low in energy, which means we get high amounts of food volume on the plate. Some of them are high in fiber as well, which can also aid in keeping us satiated, which may allow us to stick to our diet for longer and get better results. The last thing we're going to talk about is avoiding doing dumb shit. Now, what is dumb shit? It's restricting yourself that hard that you can't stick to your diet for a long enough period to actually get a result. We know you guys want results and you want results now, but we want to make sure you stick to a plan for a period of time long enough in order to get you results. So don't go too extreme to the point where we're just dying to bury our face in a cheesecake or smash a couple of burgers or just go off plan every weekend and then just happen to start again Monday. You guys can undo a lot of hard progress of dieting during the week by overindulging on the weekend. So by now you should have a good idea of what your nutrition should look like if you are interested in transforming your physique. And if you're somebody who wants to take action now, hit the link in the description and get yourself a copy of our free body transformation guide. This guide not only has nutrition plans, macro splits, recipe guides, but it also has training plans and data tracking to give you everything you need to transform your physique. And yes, it is absolutely free. So hit that link in the description and start making the progress that you deserve.